Texas State game film. Give me an assessment of the secondary. How'd you feel like your guys held up?
Thought we played well. Did some good stuff. Had the one deal with the deep ball, but other than that, I thought our guys played well and played hard. And, did a good job.
In terms of when you've got a quarterback who's moving like Williams was moving, and very effectively extending plays effectively, had his eyes down the field. That's a tough gig for a defensive back. When you're breaking out of your discipline, and all of a sudden now it's kind of helter skelter back there. Number one, how'd you feel like your guys held up even under difficult circumstances? And number two, what do you tell those guys when that happens? How do you say, all right, once this stuff starts breaking down, here's what you need to do to stay where you need to be?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just understanding that you got to lock on, because at that point, receivers, they break their routes and they start adjusting to the scramble of the quarterback, and so you just adjust to it as well and match the guy that you're normally covering. I mean, if I was covering a number one on a vertical and he starts working back to the quarterback, I got to work back with him. So it's just scramble rule. And you hope that you can some guy to can secondary contain up front, or a linebacker or somebody to either get it out of his hands or run him on out of bounds. As far as the quarterback's concerned, but from a coverage standpoint, you just understand the integrity of the coverage is different because the routes are totally different.
In looking at some Wake film, I watched the Boston College game in particular because I feel like that's really the only opponent they've played that I would say is comparable to App in terms of around the roster talent. One of the plays I was interested to see from them is a play where Wolford will turn, he'll do a read option with the back like they normally do, but then he'll kind of peel out like he's going to take it down the line. But a receiver is standing over there, and he's actually got an option running. He's watching that corner. And if the corner comes to him, he's flipping it to the receiver. If he doesn't, he's up the field. What are you guys, telling your corners in terms of being able to watch that play? And, is there a moment at which you say, okay, here's when you go after the quarterback? Or is it strictly you stay in your coverage, someone else has got QB responsibility?
Yeah, it's all about the scheme of the defense and who's responsible. I mean, in every scheme, you got a guy that's responsible for the quarterback and a guy that's responsible for each receiver. So if I'm responsible for a wide receiver, I got nothing to do with that quarterback, and vice versa. So it's just assignment football is really what it comes down to.
But that's got to be tough for your guys. I mean, your instinct as a player is, I see guy with ball, I want to go get him. How hard is it to kind of, discipline that out of them so that they stay where they're supposed to be?
Just practice reps, and the more they see it in practice and the more they see it in film study, then the more the more comfortable and more confident they are. It just understanding, hey, I got to do my job within the scheme of the defense. I don't do somebody else's job. I do my job, and as long as everybody's doing that, then we're okay.
What kind of threat do you think their passing game poses for you? They do, they throw a lot of stuff kind of in and around, I'd say, the box area out to the edges. Every now and then, though, they'll drop back and kind of pop one over the top on you just to see if they can catch you that way. What's been your observation and kind of scouting them?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good passing game. I think the quarterback throws a great deep ball. He's got great touch on it, and the wide receivers will go get it. So they got some guys that can run, and the quarterback is tremendous touch, on those deep balls. So we're going to have to do a great job of handling that, regardless of whatever the coverage is, but understanding that is one of their stronger suits, I think, is the touch that he has on those deep balls.
Good deal. Thanks.